Hi everybody, my name is Ondřej Bačina, and here we are having a conversation with Joe Justice, who happens to be one of the stars of the Tesla community.
If that's true, it's because of Ondřej's channel. The entire reason that I'm lucky enough to be with you today, Ondřej, here in Prague, in the Czech Republic, is because of your Tesla Czech interview that you were lucky enough to bring me into. And then the conference found out, I got to do a workshop, I got to bring Joe Krebs and Agile Kara from New York here to Prague, all because of your channel.
Oh, well, thank you.
And this conference, Product in Agile, is a big deal. This hotel is full. And the only reason I get to be a part of it is because of you, the community you've built up. So my honor and privilege, Ondřej.
Oh, thank you, but that's very big honor. I think that Edutra is doing a very good job. I was just creating the playlist of your experience and translate it to Czech and create some workshops out of that and stuff. But very thanks for that. So if we can deep dive on your experience right now, do you feel any change lately in the attitude of the traditional OEMs and automotive industry as in general in approaching to you, for example, like especially?
Yes. Toyota, as an example, when did I first consult to Toyota? Probably 2015. 2019, Toyota set up an agile new company. Then it was called TRIAD, Toyota Research, Innovation, Advanced Development. Now it's called Woven Planet. And they had me train everyone in Agile. They were getting serious in 2019. In 2020, Q3 2022, when it became clear the Tesla Model Y was going to outsell the Toyota Camry. And the Toyota Camry would no longer be the best-selling car in the world, and it had been for 20 years running. The attitude completely changed. It wasn't, let's explore faster operations, I'll say agile. It wasn't, let's train people to be ready for faster operations. It was, let's get Tesla speed right now. And Miho Itakura, who's the CEO of the company I work for in Japan, the Agile Business Institute, she was asked by a lean consultant here in Europe, why would Toyota want Agile? And really, why does Toyota want Tesla operating methods? They're already the best manufacturing company in the world, especially in the automotive space. And Miho's answer was to be faster. And that lean consultant says, no, Toyota doesn't need to change anything. They definitely don't need to go faster. So next time I was in Toyota City in Nagoya in Japan, in the global headquarters, working with executive teams at Toyota, Miho asked in Japanese, why do you want Agile? Why do you want Tesla operating practice? And the Toyota executive said, to be faster. It was exactly that. That admitting, let's get faster, didn't come until it was clear that the Tesla Model Y was going to be the best-selling car in the world, which it is now. As of right now, as we're filming this, the best-selling car of any type globally is the Tesla Model Y, no longer a Toyota Camry. Now, it wasn't just Toyota that changed stance. Some people might follow my X, my former Twitter, or LinkedIn, or even my Facebook, and see I'm very lucky to be working with Mercedes-Benz, with Volkswagen Group, and Porsche as a piece of that. All of their tone has been building an interest really since Tesla began, but the attitude changed, and the event that seems to trigger that change exactly was Tesla Model Y becoming the best-selling car in the world.
Yeah. So you can see that but I expect not just by Toyota, but as well in other companies, like other automotive companies as well?
Yeah, so Volkswagen Group owns
Yes.
Skoda, right?
Yes.
And here we're in the Czech Republic right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And Lamborghini and Porsche, then
Bugatti.
and Bugatti. Obviously, actually a huge collection of engineers, experts, and brands. But I believe I've worked with every automotive owning company, including most of the Chinese owners. Like Jaguar Land Rover is now owned by a Chinese conglomerate, as is Lotus, and I've worked with all of them. And all of them, the tone is we need speed of execution. We need to introduce product updates and entire new products on a shorter timeline than we ever have before. From the time we learn of a new capability to the time it's on sale needs to be faster. Volkswagen's still on a 9-year budget. So no large innovation is allowed if it wasn't financially approved 9 years in advance. So it means if a new battery technology becomes viable, affordable, excellent to use, it would be 9 years before the project would start to use that technology. That is the business structure, the budgeting structure, the contracting structure, the engineering organization, the reporting structure, the management system, the project management system that is changing to agile methods is the piece that I'm getting to be involved in all of those companies.
Your product teams to improve the product, and you're not allowed to because the 1-year budget has already been set, or even longer, 3-year budget, 9-year budget has already been set.
Or, you know, like all the time we have spent during COVID times on Zoom and, you know, carving out a workshop like this, where there was those synergies and it's being always so closenesses. You guys are already at this point, right? Sometimes I have these numbers, but sometimes I have 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and so
Wanted to make it that the rest of the car did not have to be engineered, even as new modules were introduced. This took off. Every successive development, Tesla added more and more modules, more and more parallel development.
Z těch věcí potom vzniknou takové revoluční produkty, který celý ten automotive za 100 let nebyl schopný implementovat. A to jsou, tady vidíte, takhle vypadá tradiční auto, 171 dílů vepředu i vzadu, nahrazený za 2 díly.
What is the obstacle that is the most obvious in the start of the implementation of the Agile? Because my assumption, or what I'm observing, is that lots of people talk about Agile, lots of people are interested in Agile. When you show them how Tesla is doing that, they're like, wow, great, I want that too. But then hit us on the reality. So what in your perspective is a challenge of implementing such an approach?
Perfect comment, Andre. No wonder your channel gets so much traction, right? Because you really ask the issue. Like that is the question, I think. That is the question, I think. And it's the budget cycle.
Okay.
If a company has a 9-year budget cycle, it almost doesn't matter what.
Or even 3 years.
Even 1 year.
Yeah.
Even a 1-year budgeting cycle, which is really fast for a large manufacturing company. Mm-hmm. Some executives think it's impossible because of supplier commitments. So how does Tesla do it? Well, Tesla does do it, right? But many companies think you couldn't have shorter than definitely not a 1-year budget. You couldn't have shorter than a 7-year budget because the model cycle of the cars are 7 years, the major model cycle. Some of them as short as 5 years. So how could you budget shorter than that? You're committing with your supplier group for the lifetime of that version in production. So how could you be shorter? Well, if you have nimble, responsive, fast learning practices every part of your organization, in heat pumps, in paints, in chassis and frame, in seats, although most companies outsource all of those things. But those pieces, even if you had great quick learning and engineering, you would not be allowed to make those improvements that you've learned until the next budget cycle. So the budget cycle fundamentally limits how quickly we can introduce change. And the budget cycle is then tied to the certification cycle. So the budget cycle, if we got it shorter, maybe 3 months, that would be amazing. 3 months, check, did we learn something new? Do we want to fund something different? Then we would need to also have certification of whatever version we're building at the same cadence or faster, right? So that's a massive investment in your own internal testing. So you can conduct a copy of final testing at the same place you're designing, same place you're engineering. So you have high confidence that when you apply for certification, you're going to pass because you have a very faithful copy or even more rigorous testing inside. That's expensive. Most companies are scared to make that investment too. So you have the budgeting cycle and then the ability to conduct testing, at least your own copy, on the same cycle. That is the fundamental barrier.
Yeah. And as well, I assume that if you have one planning center, that as well is quite complicated. If you want to change only a small part, you need then to wait for the other teams and stuff like that. So you don't have the agility of the nimble approach of the modules that you are talking about.
Modular architecture solves so many problems in letting us develop in parallel. But without a shorter budget and approval cycle, the modules can't improve shorter. They can't learn something new and implement it, deploy something we've learned about, shorter than the budget cycle. Once the budget cycle's shorter, and then the testing cycle is at least as short, if not even shorter than that, then engineering practices like extreme manufacturing, modular architecture, test-driven development, mob AI, using a justice board for project management, eventually using #NoBudgets and #NoEstimates, those all make sense. But introducing those practices without shortening the budget cycle, there's a point where we actually can't implement any of our learning. And many agile initiatives have failed in companies all around the world. By failed, I mean delivered no business result. The product didn't come out any sooner. It wasn't significantly more innovative. It didn't cost much less because the budget cycle prevented new learnings from being incorporated.
And how do you take up the challenge of not customers, but employees' pushback? Basically, what I'm seeing is that maybe the higher level management says, yeah, we want to do that. Let's do Agile, let's do Scrum, do the rest.
Right.
And then it hits the bottom again on the field that some people do not like change and do not like, to change approach. So how do you, face those issues? Or
wow, there's so many different reasons for resistance. Some people are near retirement. And they're not interested in a new change, well, that makes sense. So you probably would want them to live out their career lovely and respectively on some of the, on some of the legacy products that are being sunsetted, that are being phased out, right? Truly in a way that cares for them and the energy they want to put in right now. Or offer early retirement if that's truly what makes sense. But you wouldn't want to force disruption on folks, on people that aren't asking for it. Now, interestingly, most engineers love to implement what they're learning. If you ask most engineers, would they want to be on a traditional engineering cycle, 5 or 7 years working on a part of a part, which is normal, or would they want to supply one of the race teams? In the race teams, for example, supplying to Formula One,
That's the dream of each.
Most engineers would choose that, where you never stop designing every day. You're always trying to get data from the most recent race, the most recent use, analyzing it and attempting to redesign better right now. That is the project most engineers choose. So most people actually want it.
Yeah. That's actually, now it totally clicked me why Tesla and SpaceX is the #1 company in the world that engineers want to work for, and why they are searching only for engineers, because that's right, they are exactly the people that are looking for constant change, because that's their job and that's what they are thrive through.
And not everyone, but most engineers actually prefer that. That quick feedback loop, the ability to test and learn and see your results in the field immediately, in rockets, in SpaceX, in cars and solar and batteries at Tesla, in construction, this agile approach in construction at the Boring Company, and in medical devices with medical approvals in use, now approved for humans at Neuralink, and in pure software at X.
Yeah, because I have to say that I have quite a few patrons on my channel that are from automotive, and they share with me like their stories, and basically it's unfortunately lots of the times like anti-innovation approach, like, you know, they are demotivated to bring something new and to like you know, to improve something, because everything is strict by regulations, by, you know, contracts, by everything else. Oh, and now it's totally clicked me that, yeah, okay. So something from a little bit different perspective. We are in Europe. We are actually in center of Europe, in Czech Republic, which is next to Germany, but it is like the first country that was previously known as the Eastern Europe, which was under Soviet Union like umbrella at the communist times. And now in these, especially in our countries, which were before we know what we are talking about, are very like sensitive to things that happen in Russia and Ukraine. And lots of people here are not very happy about what Elon is saying and how he's reacting on the social media politically. So I have lots of pushback on my channel as well, and so on. So, did you find that as an obstacle in your business, like that some company said no, we will not work with you because you talk about Tesla or something like that?
Not at all. And I think what's important is if we're looking at engineering, it's not about what you believe. It's not about your religion. It's not about your political set. It's about how are you performing as an engineer? And those are completely separate things. I really respect how the Musk companies are rated the #1 and #2 and #3, the various Musk companies, places to work by LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Because honestly, no one cares. No one knows. It's irrelevant because you're working so hard. Now, a lot of companies, you talk a lot and you make a lot of PowerPoints and you have a lot of meetings. And then your value system and your preferences have more opportunity to come out. Well, if you're just trying to make a part of a rocket weigh a gram less today, no one notices which sports team you like or don't like. No one even knows. It doesn't even come up because you're actually engineering.
Yeah, I have to say that when I was attending your workshop, I really write down, and I have it in my my presentation as well, as a quotation from you that basically you compare it to if there is a flood coming and you shovel a sand in the back, you don't care which hands, you know, are holding the shovel. You just need to stop the water coming, and so that was very like eye-opening, like testament why in Tesla those things doesn't matter.
People that care about one sports team winning or another, or now this is hardcore, and a lot of people won't agree with me on this, but even who you're paying your taxes to. People who care about that, now this is some people really care who they're paying their taxes to, but I will controversially assert people who even care who they're paying their taxes to aren't engineering enough.
Okay. You introduced here the Joe Krebs, and I was attending this workshop, and that was a half day was Joe with his Agile Kata, and that was I have to say quite an interesting introduction of how you can implement Agile in a company. So is it this what you are working on, or how do you?
I attempted to explain how Elon Musk runs companies, which has made the fastest growing and most profitable car company in history, the fastest growing and most popular, the fastest growing and most profitable aerospace company in history, the fastest growing and not yet most profitable, but fastest growing construction company in history, and the fastest growing medical devices company in history, and now the fastest growing by number of users social network, X, in history. It's in terms of usership, it's growing faster than it ever has before and faster than any of the other social networks. So whatever that management system is, I'm attempting to try to explain it, what I experienced working in Tesla, and I call it Joe DX, because it's limited by what I understood. Hashtag Joe for me. This is as much as I got. I hope Elon really explains it at some point, because I think there's some parts I didn't quite get. But as much as I understood, Joe, and then DX for digitalization. Now, introducing that in 12 steps has been a phenomenal experience getting to work with all of the world's automakers, at least their owning groups, and most of the world's aerospace companies, and actually quite a few of the world's militaries. The problem is what I was able to do, I think, is explain, I think, clearly how Elon is successfully operating these very different types of companies. But what I had not been able to explain and still really struggle with is how to get there. I say, here's how to replace a traditional project management structure with a justice board and mob AI. Okay, do it if you want to. You know, here. And companies say, well, how do we do it? And maybe because I did it, it seems more clear, more straightforward to me. But many people exit these workshops, these courses, these certifications, excited, empowered, but not sure what to do next. And Joe Krebs, out of New York in the USA, has developed and popularized Agile Kata, which you took with me. You and I took it together from Joe Krebs yesterday morning. It's a 4-step program, very short steps, like you could do them in a day, to move towards any kind of goal. For example, Joe DX. I hope, my current guess, my current wish, is that's the missing link that will let people see how Elon operates a company and then decide, do they want any part of that? And then I think they can use Agile Kata to take the steps that they want to, at the speed they want to, towards the pieces that are useful or interesting to them and they're ready to take. I hope it's the bridge towards the new world class.
Yeah, for me it was, as I said, very helpful that, especially because I attended the full certification course that you have, by the way, on your website. So if anybody is interested, I recommend to visit and to take the course because it was very helpful. And
thank you so much.
This Agile Kata, I actually as well feel as a very good roadmap to implement those practices that you mentioned.
That's my hope. That's my wish.
Yeah,
that's related to actually what my next big goal is. Right now, I'm working with companies around the world to explain what the delta, the gap is between the way they're managing, I'm focusing on management and engineering practices, and what Elon's doing, then they can choose how they want to close that gap. What I would like to be doing, what my aspiration is to create a company that anyone in the world could join if they wanted to. I would wish for everyone to be able to have a job that they're proud of and excited about, that hopefully makes a contribution from wherever they choose to live, so remote, if they want to. So I would like to structure a company, I wish to structure a company that could employ 7.8 billion people.
Okay.
Everybody could join if they wanted to. And understanding how successful Elon's business methods are, I think I've got a chance, a real chance at maybe doing that. In a Musk company, the work style is very intense. I think people of different health and at any age spectrum could join a Musk company, but it is very intense. What I would like to do is make that same effectiveness available at a varying level of intensity, where people could join for 45 minutes a day and give their contribution at any age, even people that are truly near end of life and unwell. Wow, this is controversial, but what is the best education? Project-based hands-on learning. So if children are allowed to participate legally in the place they're living, I would love to have them join. And in a safe, you know, in an ethical labor practice way. Truly, that's the best education anyway.
Yeah.
Like
totally
great
agree.
data on project-based learning, that's not controversial. Calling it work is controversial, so there's a balance there. But being able to have people from truly, I hope, any age participate at any level of intensity and for any length of time would be my dream. So if people are watching this and interested, the next work would be actual legal business filings. So people who are willing to do the online applications in their country to create the country-specific branch that allows for people to get a retirement plan, to receive payment, to get health insurance if their country requires it, and be legally employed in their country remote work and maintain those filings. That would be what the country-specific satellite office would need to be. If you're interested to do that in Japan, in the Czech Republic, I've got one in the United States, but there can be more. I would be very happy to create WikiSpeed 2.
Okay.
An organization anyone can join, but the evolution here would be that it builds up a paid retirement program if that's legal in your work area, and it has a living wage. WikiSpeed was volunteer-based.
Totally.
And health insurance if that's needed in your area. And with the goal of not running out of money up until as many people who want to work there can, that there's just never a need to say no to anyone.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's a very big goal. We will discuss it afterwards, I think. Thank you very much for your time. It's already pause in this conference, so it starts to be noisy. I hope that my editor will manage to use AI.
What? Andre, what?
What do you So use AI to like cool down the noise. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for what you are doing for the community, for the companies, to pushing the envelope of the speed and innovation in the world. You really do something.
I will continue to do my absolute best, as best I can. And a note that's important to my heart, if we think of the CEO of McDonald's, there's some McDonald's here in the Czech Republic, I passed some.
Yeah, they
If
are.
we think of the CEO of McDonald's and what do we think we know about them, for most people it's very little. What do we think we know about their political feelings, which sports team they like or whatever, or how they pay taxes or avoid taxes or whatever, most of us know very little. But for some reason, almost everyone thinks they know a lot about Elon Musk's political leanings and how Elon wants to pay taxes or not. Well, why? 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 And it's not like an ethical decision for most people, do I go to McDonald's or not? I mean, for some people it is, but for few. But for a lot of people, they think they're making a political statement if they choose to buy Giga beer or not, or drive a Tesla or not. I mean, most of us aren't flying on SpaceX rockets yet, but
hopefully we will.
Yeah, I think that's a better future.
Yeah.
So it's this politically charged ecosystem. Well, I think it's useful to think why. Why do many people think we have any idea what Elon Musk thinks politically? And a major reason is because of media. Because of media helping inform us what Elon Musk thinks about different political, tax, and et cetera systems. But they're not reporting on whatever the CEO of McDonald's thinks. Why?
Well,
and has the media ever, in general, the media as a concept, ever presented pieces of the data and not all of the data because of an agenda? Has that ever happened? And so there's the possibility even of confusion. So I would say, just look at the engineering. Which car is better for the environment if you're able to get a car anyway? Which internet service gives you the data you need in the area you are? Look at the engineering. Like choosing to go to McDonald's or not is probably not a political statement for most people. I don't think using Starlink or not, or driving a Model Y or not, needs to be a political statement either. Because it might not even be the correct political statement. It's hard to know, which is the reason that X is trying to incorporate fact-checking, is because it's hard to know with community nodes. So look which car has the least power draw per kilometer driven. It's a Tesla. It's a phenomenally superior piece of engineering. Yeah. Well, then thank those engineers. And I don't know which engineers believed what or liked which sports team, but it is the highest achievement of engineering currently that you can thank with your dollars. Then even more than that, which car companies have designed obsolescence or planned failure to create repair costs for service centers and which don't? Right now, Tesla is the only major automaker that doesn't have a profit model based on repairs. They are the only automaker that doesn't have planned obsolescence, which I think is a customer abuse to have planned obsolescence. Planned failure, planned expenditures to create a profit model for your repair system. Well, that is maybe a good reason to choose. I would rather support a company that is attempting to make products last 1 million miles, and ideally 1 million years, than companies that have planned expense points that are unnecessary. Please worry about that more than what people think Elon Musk's favorite sports team is or isn't, or whatever else we think we know about this person. Let's thank all those engineers working that hard.
Yeah, that's a very good ending for our conversation. Well, thank you for your time. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you managed to listen at the end as well, because it's challenging, as I said, the environment. Please leave a comment below what you think, what you are interested. Please, if you are interested more, look in the in my playlist of Joe Justice, and for sure attend Joe's workshops and seminars and etc. And thank you very much for your time.
My honor and privilege, Andre. Thank you.
Stay energized.